What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Andre, for all the new people seeing right now. I'm basically here to go over this cryptocurrency and some of the stock market turmoil that we've got going on. It's been horrific, as you can tell. Look at all this red over here. We've got -8%, -6s, -23 for you lunatics. We got wild. But yeah, red all across the market. Lots of things going on, lots of things to dive into, lots of things to catch up on from my last video to show you guys some of the trends that I had. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Like I said, I've been following Ethereum really closely, and if we go up to a higher time frame and have a look, we can see that we were consolidating across this area all week. And there wasn't really much to say, so I didn't really make any videos. So that's why you didn't really see me doing much. So I just kind of wanted to wait until we had some action, something to talk about besides this ping pong, back and forth, not doing anything. But then I finally started seeing some of the break of some of these specific levels here. You know, the 886. We finally started creeping below that, along with some negative momentum. I started noticing on the 12-hour, we started getting some bearish divergence all across the RSI, across the MACD. You see that we get essentially lower lows each time, a lower low. Let's go ahead and mark it off. We have a lower low, lower low. Actually, let's make this thing something you can see. All right. So let's see if this works. Lower low, lower low, lower low. I want these to be a different color. Oh, I know what I did. Let's make this. Okay, here we go. We need to make that brighter. Sorry for that, you guys. Alright, lower, 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 low. But then you get higher highs all across the RSI. So higher high, higher high, higher high. And then across momentum here, you see it just keeps on trending upwards as well. So that's bearish divergence. So that's been going along all week. We've been seeing that play out. And finally, we're seeing the move on play out as of this morning. Kind of started last night. But yeah, we're finally breaking through. We're seeing some of this downside play out. And I don't really see much that's saying it's over yet. I don't see any strong downside or recovery signal indicators yet. I mean, we have seen some bounces, but we're just getting smacked right back down. Moving averages are also crossing finally catching up. So we've got the 21 moving average coming across right across price action here, and you can see it's pushing price down again. You can go down a few more time frames, and you see the 50. The green one there is my 50 SMA crossing down as well. So we're starting to see the higher time frames catch up, and then if you go down some lower time frames, the 200s catching up. So the 200s are this blue one I have here. Along with we've got the 21, 55. So we've got some real pressure right above our heads right now. We'll finally see it play out. We caught an 886 retracement from the bottom that we put in pretty much at the end of last week, May 11th. So it's been almost 2 weeks since we put in that bottom. But if we go from the bottom here to the top, we pretty much hit the 886. So if that doesn't hold, this bottom right here, we can definitely expect at least this to be touched, but we're probably going to go a little bit lower. I could see this thing going down to 1600 really easily, and it could happen fast. As we're noticing, the speed of things occurring is speeding, it's increasing. So gotta be careful out there, gotta beware. So let's have a look at Bitcoin as well. Actually, while I'm still on Ethereum, I also wanted to point out this ETH-BTC chart. It's been looking really bad. Actually, I'd rather look over here. Let's look at ETH-BTC right here. Alright. So let's go ahead and go to like a 10-hour or so. Get this started. Alright. It's kind of a lot going on, but that just kind of helps me keep things in perspective with so much price action. So you can see I made a pitch for it from quite a while ago. We actually did break out of we hit the midline of it, we broke out of it. That was back in February. So I was looking for a bearish retest, and so we kind of have been creeping up all along February, all through March, and into April. We finally started topping out. And so I had this overhead resistance from previous price action back to June. And so once we started to hit that, I was thinking, okay, we might top out. And as we've seen now, I let it play out. I was starting to see this, and I'm like, this could play out to be a nasty BART pattern, because we haven't seen anything like that occurring, but I know that there's resistance here. And what do you know? We drew down really fast. We're losing leverage when it comes to BTC, and we finally broke out of this long-term channel we were kind of traveling in. I mean, I kind of just drew it back for quite a while, but we can see how we respected some of these levels within it. But we finally broke out, so it's kind of a trend reversal. So I'm thinking long term, it wouldn't be crazy to see it return all the way back here to 0.04 Satoshis. And I mean, it really wouldn't surprise me if this happened either, because this looks like one of the original purchases I made back when I got involved in 2020. So of course it would come back just to wreck everybody who got involved in the last 2 or 3 years. Not even 2, 3. Yeah, we're only in 2020. Yeah, the 1 or 2 people who joined in the last 1 or 2 years, you gotta really watch out. So yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty nasty. I mean, let's go. I haven't done this yet, so let's go ahead and just see what a retracement would look like. Where it would take us for an 886. I don't have a lot going on with the charts. We're just gonna make a quick rough estimate right there. Let's reverse it. Ignore all that. There's a lot of, oh, look at that. Lines up perfectly with an 886. It's crazy. And I'm just doing this freehand right now. So I mean, yeah, a move all the way back down to 0.0288 would not surprise me one bit. It would basically take us to exactly where we started this run off at before you saw the insane price action from $200, $400 up to $4,000. So I mean, that's almost like a full reset. It's kind of sad to see that, but you know what? That's reality. That's what we're looking at right now. Okay, so that's Ethereum catch up. Let's go ahead and go to Bitcoin. But we don't want to do it on this chart. Let's go back over here. So we've been playing some ping pong action as well. All right, doing a little ping pong action here. In between a few levels I have marked off. I've got a golden pocket here, and this is some price action from far behind that we've held in previous times, way back here in the summer of 2021. And you can see back here in December of 2020, this was also a resistance right here. So I kind of marked that little zone off as somewhere that would be very important levels to hold. So we really want to hold on to 28,700, but we finally broke through it in today's move. We jumped back above, so we're gonna have to see how things follow through. Closures are gonna be obviously very important, but you can see how price action has clearly respected this level. We're getting rejected and rejected over and over. These are 4-hour candles, and so we just keep on ping-ponging right between this level here. We did create a lower low today, and until we see a higher high, there's no reason to suspect this won't continue to roll over despite these little bounces upward. So if I go to 12-hour again, you can see the same moving averages are drawing down and creating pressure that seems to be pushing price action down. So this is 12-hour 21 EMA. It's just dropping right over the top, giving a little peck on the head, smacking them, and here's the 50 joining the party right now. And this is kind of what created that move this morning. So we'll see how things close in a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good. I think we draw back down for sure to this 26,000, back down to 24, 25 easily. The 2.141, I have it 25,500. So I mean, I would expect price action to touch that at some point. And yeah, everything's really bleeding against Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's holding up pretty decent compared to other things on this in the market right now. But once you see Bitcoin start to give up, I mean, other things are going to be decimated. They're going to be decimated. Um, in reference to Bitcoin, we have the Bitcoin dominance chart that I want to show you. And this thing is just taking off finally. We've been in a long downtrend. We saw alt seasons at these points. Dominance was so high, and ever since that thing's been going down, we've seen insane gains all last year, all 2020, all 2021. You've seen crazy alts. You've seen Dogecoin. You've seen Shiba. You've seen Matic. You name it. Chainlink. All kinds of things going crazy. But finally, it seems like it's bottomed out. We're on a 2-day chart. We're going on a 3-day, even a weekly. And you can see how it makes a lot more sense now. You have a double bottom occurring on a weekly chart. This first portion of the W goes all the way back to 2017, 2018. And now, 3-4 years later, we created a second bottom. And I think from what I've charted, we just went up. Yeah, 886 is here, I believe. Let me get rid of that. It's kind of in the way. And 886, we're above the 786. So, I mean, we're probably going back up to 48, 49, 50 for sure in Bitcoin dominance. So the Bitcoin dominance is pretty much an aggregate telling us how much of the market cap is owned or allocated towards Bitcoin. So the higher this percentage here means the higher the percentage of money invested into Bitcoin. When this price is lower, that means more money is invested into altcoins and various coins that are not Bitcoin. So when this thing draws down, you typically see money inflow into other coins all around. Ethereum, Aave, Cardano, anything. So when this thing rises, you see stark differences between the strength of altcoins versus the strength of Bitcoin. So you could see things, such as Luna. You can see things such as let's have Cardano, Ethereum. They're all drawing down a pretty significant price or percentages, but Bitcoin's barely down 0.2%, and that's because this dominance is rising. People are finding safe haven back into Bitcoin while this turmoil goes on. So that's something else to pay attention to. Let's have a look at it at the 4 hours to see how strong it is. It's just skyrocketing. So this is April 5th. And then you see the move really play out May 10th, May 11th. And we're not slowing down yet. Let's see what this. See if we see some weak points. I mean, momentum's still rising. There's a little bit of divergence. We're definitely in overbought territory. So I don't know how well those play into the dominance, but maybe at some point we will slow down. But I bet you it just creates a lot of sideways action. I don't know if we're really going to see this thing dump down where everything goes back into the alts, given this market condition right now. So it's kind of scary, but Bitcoin's holding up strong. So also in my past videos, I showed you guys how I was looking into some stocks, the indexes and things like that, and how that was playing into these moves we've been seeing or watching. So let's see how those charts that I made are holding up. We'll start with the S&P. So it looks like, let's go down a little time frame. Looks like that 886 and the 786 that I drew up actually are holding up. I mean, that's pretty cool. We did get rejected from the pitchfork that I had drawn. Price action went down into this 786, 886. I'll delete this for a moment because the real action is happening right now. We had a gap from the other day on May 17th, an unfilled gap. So you can see right here that price gap down, and we went bearish for a few days. And we have not filled that. We had another gap here. It came down and filled. We had a gap here, price ran up and filled it. So you can see how often these gaps are filled. So today, this afternoon, we actually filled this gap right here. But the problem is it coincides with this golden pocket that I have as well. So that's been overhead resistance. So unless we really see price jump above and hold a support, this 410 range, 408, run up, come down and come around, and then hold this as support for a little bit before running up further. I mean, if that doesn't happen, we could definitely see price action hang around in here for a bit and then come right back down and then bounce around some more, which is probably what I expect to happen. I mean, we're not oversold yet, but we could see some sideways action in here before we see a continuation in either up or down. So yeah, I mean, it's just going to ultimately create a lower low. I mean, unless we really break out above this 0.5 range at 421 and outside of this pitchfork, it's just another false move upwards to confuse people and create more liquidity in the market. NASDAQ has had a really nice day, but I expected it because it jumped off this 886 Fibonacci area. So we've got an 886 that we've looked at and found support. We already jumped above the 786. We have yet to test the golden pocket, so we have this midline from the pitchfork that I drew. That'll probably be an overhead resistance right there. We'll see how it handles that. Wouldn't surprise me if we see price action roll over and find support at the 786 before starting to find some legs before rallying up and testing these areas up top. So there's a quick NASDAQ look. Dow Jones. Same thing. Looks like we found support at the midline of that pitchfork that I drew, dating back to price action from September 2018, February 20th. Price action from there was able to help me predict that we might find some support right here, which we did. Right now we're moving up, but you can see we have some overhead resistance right above us, so we'll see how that plays out. We do have a gap down here that we could fill, so I mean that's worst case scenario that I think I've mentioned before. But on a brighter note, when it comes to price action along the stock indices, we have a lot of divergence in a bullish manner. We've been seeing price action draw down, but RSI momentum has increased. We also see higher highs on the RSI correlated with lower lows on price action. So price is drawing down low, but RSI is drawing up high. So it's bullish, and we are seeing it follow through. Pretty nice. 6% so far. So we are seeing kind of a decoupling when it comes to what's happening in the stock market versus what's going on with cryptocurrency. Red, just death over here. I think I mentioned KNC before. I mean, that ended up turning into a pretty accurate good trade for me as well. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, I think I mentioned it before when it was in this range, and ever since I made that video last week, we've drawn down 30+%. I really don't think it's bottomed yet. I mean, there's still more to be seen. We're kind of in the middle of a move right now. Okay, this is nice to look. So I kind of drew this channel we've been in, and we can tell that we're just bouncing right in between there. So until I see a strong move outside of this channel and then a retest, you know, I'm expecting price action to just draw right back down to the bottom. The last few days, that's what's been happening. So I've been kind of trading that range. I had a nice little move here. I knew that the $2 area was a good place to be. Long that for a good 14%, and then just stayed short the whole time since then. We can see the top of this channel is at 209, and then the bottom of this channel at $1.83. $1.83. So expect a move that way, either which direction. Probably both, just to screw with the whole market. You got a 5-6% move up, which, you know, same thing coming down, 7-8% down. So there's a quick KNC. I mean, I've been kind of working with all of these chain link. I've been catching some nice chain link bounces off of some old price action from back in 2020 when I was trading it. I kind of marked out some areas and finding like the perfect bounces at the bottom of these channels that I had and the tops. So if price keeps drawing down, I wouldn't be surprised if it draws back down to 589, 590, and then below that, you know, you're jumping your 4 range, and that's really bad. Go back to the $4 area. So yeah, going back to the total market cap, have a quick look at that as well. Ooh, got a lot going on. We were rejected from a significant area here. We are finding support at some of these legacy trend lines that I have. You know, we've got the golden pocket. We did bounce off that this morning, but I just don't see the congruency across the indicators and things that signal this being the bottom. So I'd be expecting some more downside. I would play it safe. It's really not a good time to be longing. We've got a lot of dumping going on from the Feds right now. I heard that some just news. This is things I've been watching from Bloomberg and whatnot, that they're going to start dropping 95 billions, 95 billion a year. Right? Is that I think it's a month. 95 billion a month for the next year. So that therefore within a year's time frame, we will have 1 trillion off of their Fed sheet. So I mean, $1 trillion dumped on us for the next year. I mean, that's gonna make times pretty tough. So I mean, until we see some strong movement and some strong direction, creating an uptrend, I mean, these longs and these bounces are gonna probably be short-lived, while we could create, you know, lower highs and lower lows over the next amount of time, next chunk of time. So be careful out there. You know, I'll keep you guys updated here and there. Just waiting for some things to play out. But yeah, appreciate the views. If you like this information and it helped you out, please give me a like, leave a comment. I can definitely go over some coins you guys have any suggestions or preferences for. But until then, yeah, you guys be safe out there, and I'll see you guys next time.